Okay, 8.1, two-dimensional lists. Okay, so I put the instructions over here, but what we're doing is we're making a two-dimensional list. So a list within a list. Now we're going to have three lists, and each list will have 4 items in it. And that's what our first input will be. So our first input will be rows and columns. So we'll do that. And our number of rows equals A0. And the number of columns, let's just say calls, equals A1. Alrighty. So our second input, so we're going to say list of numbers. List, or you know what? I'll use the term matrix. Matrix is basically our list of lists equals, it's empty to start. Now, what do we want to do? We want to take in 4, let's say second line of input. So for I in range, how many times do we want to do it? We want to do it rows times, right? And what do we want to do? We want to take in a bunch of input. Control C and Control V. And let's just say, let's call it row, singular, equals whatever this is. And we're going to take our input and we're going to throw it inside there. And we're going to say we're going to say matrix dot append whatever our row is. So once we're done, let's print what our matrix is, right? So let's do that. In fact, let's go star matrix. Let's run that. Okay, so 3, 4, and what are we gonna do? 11, 12, 13, 14, enter. 21, 22, 23, 24, enter. 31, 32, 33, 34, enter. And what do we have? We have, basically, when we printed it, we printed our matrix separated with a space. Alrighty. And is that what we want? Kind of. Then what we want, we took on our input, and then we want to take input, actually, int input, and we're going to say that multiplier, or factor. Factor equals int input. So we're taking a next piece of input, and what we're going to do is multiply that factor by everything in our matrix. So how do we do that? So we have to go over our matrix. So for I in range, actually, for I in matrix, for j, and actually, no, we can't do it like that. Let's go with for I in range, and we're going to say length. Well, the length of our matrix is our rows, right? So we're going to go rows, right? We're going to assume everything works out. For I in range rows, for j in range column. So we're going to go through our rows. 1, 2, 3. And for each one, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And what we're going to say is our matrix I, and then we take J, is equal to two. Each column is equal to itself times 2. So we're going to change each one and multiply it by 2. And then we're going to print it. Let's see what happens. Okay, we're going to go through I. Then we're going to go through J. And this is how you access. So matrix I, that would be this thing right here. And then J would be the individual element. And we're going through 0 to 3. 0, 1, 3. These are I. And then J will be 0, 1, 2, 3. And if we print our matrix, let's see what happens. Run. Oh, I have to do this again. 3, 4, 11, 12, 13, 14. Then we go 21, 22, 23, 24. Then we go 31, 32, 33, 34. I said 34. And then we say 2. And we have our numbers. 22, 24, 26, 28, 42, 44, 46, 48. And it's all matching over here. Okay, so what do we want to do? What if we want to print the rows? All right, so I'm not going to use these shortcuts. Let's just go over this. Let's run this again. This is how you go over every single one. Control C. 4. Oh. Actually, let's try this with separation \n . And actually, before we do anything, let's just play around with this to see how this works. Okay, so if we wanted to do that, we have to find a way to print it. Now, there's lots of ways to do it. I want to try this way. I'm only 7 minutes in, so if you want forward ahead to see if I figure it out, I'm just going to try and figure it out right here while the camera's rolling. Okay, so matrix equals that, and then inside that we go 1, 2, 4, 5, and then we go comma, and we go 3, 2, 6. I know I could just Google it, but I want to try and figure it out. So I can model, so in case model what actions you should take in case you ever want to try and figure things out for your own. So now if I do matrix separation with a space, what do I get? With a \n, name matrix not defined. Oops, I forgot to put the equal sign. Run it again. And I have everything printed there. So how are we going to do this? Well, we want this separated with an n, correct? But inside the matrix, we don't want it separated by that. Let's see if we surround this with a bracket and put that, what ends up happening. Nope. Does not work. Let's see if we can go and put a double asterisk here and see what happens. Run. No. Let's see what happens if I don't separate it with the n. Run. No, it doesn't work. Okay, so let's see. Printing multiple dimension array Python with the asterisks. No, I do not want to do it this way. I don't want to do it this way. I don't want to do it that way. Or that way. Or that way. Nope. Oh, well, I guess I'm not going to be able to do it the way I want. So what I'm going to end up doing is for I in range, and we're going to put rows, and we're just going to say print slash matrix. And I believe that'll work. Let's run the code. Why are you not working? For I in range. Let's run this. Rows is not defined. Let's say length of matrix. Anyway, for I rows, and in this case, rows equals 3. So let's just write that. Rows equals 3. We'll erase that later. And no, this is not what I want. Oh, print matrix. I. Run. There we go. That's how we get it to work. We can erase that. We can uncomment everything else. Boom. And if we run our code, let's try it. 3, 4. We have 11, 12, 13, 14. We have 21. Oh, for God's sakes. This really is terrible. It's not going to work. But I know that if I submit it, why did I get a mistake? 0? Huh? Weird. That's a mistake. 2, 2. I got 2, 4. And 6, 8. Oh, because we forgot to write it by the factor. That makes sense. Now I submit. Oh, for God's sakes. No, end of file. Whenever you see EOF error, it means you had an error with REPL, not necessarily with your code. Submit. That's how you do 8.1.